Time for business news then on the programme. Yet another round, 13th it is in fact, of US-China trade talks beginning today in Washington. And Anka Ula from our business desk is here to bring us up to speed. Anka.
Well, Stuart, we've been talking about this all week, and in the days before this high-level meeting was set to begin, Beijing had been downplaying hopes of any major progress taking place, pointing to Washington's recent blacklisting of 28 Chinese companies. But U.S. President Donald Trump has since tweeted that there's still a really good chance of a deal. And on the eve of that meeting, a series of positive reports have cut the tension a bit. The New York Times reporting that Washington will soon announce concessions for China's Huawei, allowing some U.S. firms to supply non-sensitive goods to the firm. And Bloomberg reporting that the U.S. is looking at rolling out a previously agreed currency pact with Beijing. Let's hear now from U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross.
We want to make a deal. We believe the Chinese would like to make a deal. We just hope that their needs and our needs can accommodate each other.
Let's see how markets are reacting as we inch closer to that starting line for those meetings. European markets getting a bit of a boost from the positive reports, but a positive development in the luxury market has actually helped boost stocks at the open. Paris's CAC 40 opened up 0.33%. Helped by the world's top luxury group LVMH, which opened 5% up after it reported over €500 million more profits than it had expected in the third quarter. The DAX, the only index trading down at the open. You can see it was down just slightly below the flat line. Now in Asia, both Chinese mainland and Hong Kong markets were trading up, along with Japan's Nikkei. Seoul's Kospi, the only index in the red there, was down about 0.33%. As you can see, there's some cautious optimism here about how those trade talks are going to play out. Well, next, in California, more than 1 million people were left in the dark when the state's largest utility cut the power to prevent a repeat of the past 2 years. Now, this is when wind-blown power lines sparked deadly wildfires that destroyed thousands of homes. The so-called public safety power shutoff has, however, been a burden for many business owners. Take a listen to how the owner of a home improvement store in Northern California is dealing with it.
We do have a backup generator, and the generator only operates the point of sale. So we do want to be open for our customers, so we actually have our team members escorting customers through with flashlights to ensure that they are able to get what they need.
Well, the economic impact of the shutdown is still just a guess at this point. The director of the Energy and Climate Program at the Stanford Woods Institute, Michael Wara, estimated that a 2-day shutdown could cost anywhere from $65 million to $2.5 billion. Now that's depending on whether it affects just residential customers or small commercial and industrial customers as well. Well, finally from me, French power utility EDF announced a new costly setback at its nuclear plant in the city of Flamanville, which will bring the total cost of that site to 12.4 billion euros. The site uses next-generation nuclear technology called European Pressurized Reactors, or EPR. But delivery of the new technology has been far from smooth. Camille Delec tells us more.
It's yet another setback for next-generation nuclear energy. EDF has announced its latest budget overshoot on the Flamanville build, which uses European pressurized reactor technology. It's going to cost an extra 1.5 billion euros. Due to 8 faulty weldings outside the steam generators, which were flagged up by the French Nuclear Authority. They're inaccessible, so EDF hopes to send in robots to do the repairs. As technical issues pile up, so have the costs. The budget was a little over 3 billion. It's now over 12 billion. The build is expected to be delivered 10 years late. This expert says EDF's troubles show that French engineering has lost its way.
In France, we're doing EPR, but we're no longer in the glory years when we built our own infrastructure. So we lost ground in nuclear, probably in other industries as well. We no longer have the expertise to execute these projects.
Flamanville is supposed to be a lighthouse project for EPR. The 2 other EPR plants in Europe also have their fair share of problems. A project in Finland is a decade behind schedule. In the UK, Hinkley Point is over budget by almost £3 billion. The only nuclear plant of this kind that's operational is the Taishan power plant in China, partly owned by EDF. But it also faced delays and multiple technical issues.
So the nuclear industry in France up in the air, Stuart. That wraps up the business update.
Thanks very much, Anke. Anke Uhle with business there on France 24.